All right, yesterday in the Trump trials, Stormy Daniels testified. Now, Stormy testified as colorful as we would expect Stormy to testify. Her descriptions went from Donald Trump complimenting her, saying how much she reminds him of Ivanka, and all these different parallels on how Ivanka reminds Donald Trump of Stormy Daniels. Had her roll up a magazine with himself on the cover and spank him with it. And didn't really get into much dirtier details than that, but it was enough to paint a pretty clear picture. Now, this was probably the worst so far emotionally for Donald J. Trump, because it hits to the heart of what he's pretending to care about, when in fact it just shows who this man actually is. At the same time that this went on, there was a court filing with Miss Alva Johnston, who was a campaign management person on his campaign, where this entire time when all these payments are being made and they're trying to hide all of his discretions, he is actually on the campaign bus forcing himself on an employee on video. So the testimony in these cases are one thing. The actual actions of this man while it's all going on should show beyond the shadow of a doubt a pattern that can't be disputed. It can't be argued, at least at this point. And if people are still arguing it, it's because they don't care enough about the country to figure out the truth. So Stormy Daniels' testimony supported everything she had claimed in the past. There was a publisher from Random House that testified as well, and talked about ghostwriters and people writing their stories, how they have editorial control and all that other stuff, to show the correlations between the exact story being told in Stormy Daniels' book and what she still continues to tell on a daily basis. The defense, Trump's defense lawyers, actually demanded a mistrial because of the conversation and the details in Stormy's testimony, of which the judge himself said, well, if you objected while it was going on, I probably would have sustained the objection, but you guys didn't say anything, so I just let it go. Kind of important, that distinction, because the bottom line is, if there was an issue with the testimony, that's when the objections are supposed to come in, and then the judge actually stops the testimony. The judge was essentially telling Trump's lawyers that if you complained about it while it was happening, I would have halted it, but you didn't. Oh well. Trump's lawyers are not able to prepare specifically for the witnesses coming up, because they're not being told who the witnesses are. They're not being told who the witnesses are because of Donald Trump's natural ability to go after him, send MAGA after him, death threats, and all this other fun stuff. So the judge said, hey, if you didn't burn that bridge, you would have had all the information. Not our fault, it's yours. So them trying to fight, trying to ask for more time as they show up in court, they're told who's testifying, should have been thought of and should have been protected before Donald J. Trump went running his mouth every single day. He is right now on his 10th guilty of contempt of court on a criminal court, and was told if he does it again or violates in any other way, he will be thrown directly into jail. Since then, he has routinely posted things on social media, then taken him down really, really quickly, probably because his lawyer says, hey, you can't say stuff like that. But he's still doing it. He's done it 3 times since the last warning by the judge. I'm sure he'll do it 10 more, and before he ends up being thrown in jail for contempt of court. So yeah, that's what's going on in the criminal trial, and stay tuned. It's just going to get better. There's still about a dozen more witnesses, including Karen McDougal, Michael Cohen, and people like that. All right, stay diligent, stay educated, be kind. We are all in this together. We need to start looking at the evidence beyond our political choices.